guys, it's Kevin again, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing Teen Wolf Season 3, Episode 17, Silverfinger, and this was another fantastic episode, and definitely a very intense one. What I did notice about this one was, you know how we've had a lot of comedy in these last two episodes? There was no comedy in this episode. No comedy. None. And, I like the dark tone of this episode because the show is getting really dark. And I like that we've gotten more back of this psychological horror because we kind of abandoned it, and now we're back to it, so I really do enjoy that. And I really like the storyline in this episode. There's some really great stuff, so let's just get started. I first want to talk about Scott and Kira because they're the central focus of the show, so let's get to them. First of all, Scott and Kira, extremely cute in this episode, in my opinion. I thought they were extremely cute. I thought they had so much chemistry in a lot of scenes in this episode, and these two really need to get together. And I know some people actually don't like Scott and Kira, but the thing is, you know, I really do think they have a lot of chemistry, and I love seeing them. They're very cute together. So you know how Kira was kind of upset about Scott being a werewolf and everything? She kind of got a little scared. Well, he brings her home on his bike, and she knows about his werewolf identity, and she asks to see it again, but this time up close. So he decides to do this. She looks in wonder, and she's actually this time very accepting of it, and she touches his cheek, so she's now very accepting of all this, and it's not as bad as a problem for her, which I do like. So, Scott's riding to school on his dirt bike, and he runs into the twins along the way. The twins want to protect Scott from the demonic ninjas. They really want to prove themselves and join his pack. And I really like this storyline of them trying to redeem themselves to go on Scott's pack, because they really want to be on Scott's pack, and that's their main goal this season, is to get Scott, is to earn back Scott's trust, because they don't want to be the bad guys. They want to be good, and they want to get back on Scott's good side. So I like this whole storyline, and I think it's interesting to see them join his pack and actually be a part of it, because, he's the true alpha, and it is interesting to see all that. So then Stiles meets up with Scott to tell him about this strange revelation, and Stiles shows up. Stiles shows Scott the chem lab, and all the evidence is gone. The whole thing with Sankira? It's gone. So now he feels like he's going crazy. Scott asks if he's doing okay, and Stiles says that he hasn't been sleeping much. So are we back to this whole losing his mind thing? I'm thinking he never got rid of it. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he never got rid of it. He only got rid of it temporarily, and it's something that is stuck to him, and he can't get rid of it. So, after this, Scott is talking with the twins. He wonders what if he's not one the demons want. He sees Kira walking in the hallway, thinks maybe they might be after her. And of course, Scott is the only one who currently knows about Kira's true supernatural form. So that's what happens there. So Stiles goes into the hospital. He's having panic attacks, and Melissa's there. She takes him to a patient room. She begins to ask him questions and determines that he's merely sleep-deprived. She gives him a sedative, tells him to get some rest as he drifts off to sleep, and says, "Thanks, Mom." That scene was honestly really sweet because if you think about it, Stiles doesn't have a mother, so Scott's mother is kind of like a second mother to Stiles. So I thought that scene was very cute and everything. I mean, not cute, but very sweet. It seemed very much like a mother taking care of her own son, because Stiles is like family. Stiles and Scott are just besties, and Stiles is like family to Melissa, so I really do enjoy that. Also, no Lydia in this episode. I don't know where she was, why they didn't give Lydia stuff to do. I don't know if Holland Rowan was busy, but no Lydia the entire episode. And I was kind of surprised about that. So Allison, Scott, and Mr. Argent arrive at Katashi's. That's a mistake. Scott picks Kira up and ditches the twins, and Mr. Argent Scott picks Kira up and ditches the twins because he doesn't want the twins following him because he thinks it's a little too dangerous. So he abandons the twins. and Kira and Scott get back home. There's only a few hours until sundown. He says that Dr. Deaton put in a security system recently, one that his only mother can activate. Probably some mystical druidic thing, and Kira begins to piece together that the demons are actually after her. And she asks Scott if he's ever heard of a Kinsane. And Kira shows Scott this storybook involving the Kinsane myth. And I really love when the show does mythology because they get really, really into it. They get really into it on the show. And it's one of my favorite things about this show is the mythology. I really do love that. So the sun begins to set. Kira says, you know, foxes and wolves don't really get along. So just as Kira and Scott are back to kiss, Scott hears a car pull up. It's Scott's father. He brings in his computer, pulls up a photo showing Kira and Scott sneaking into the present when they went into tamper with her confiscated phone. He wants to know how in the world it broke in. Honestly, this guy is just so annoying. I hate Scott's father. He is the only character on this show I do not like at the moment, and I don't think we're supposed to like him. They're doing a good job with us not liking him, but he always comes at the worst times. Like, these two were about to have a really sweet moment, and you just ruined it. It was just rude. So Scott and Kira, they're trying to explain why they were at the percent, and Melissa then comes home. However, just the conversation begins, the sun sets, and the shadow beings arrive. One of them stabs Scott's father in the chest. Derek arrives, the twins arrive, the battle proceeds. Melissa shatters a small container of powder and erects the mystical barrier around the house that seems to work in bearing supernatural beings from the premises. The action subsides, and so far nobody else is critically injured. So Derek says that he's been following Scott all day long. Melissa tries to contain her ex-husband's wound, but he's bleeding out fast. Honestly, they kill him off. I'd be perfectly fine with that because I don't like his character. So just kill him off. That's what I'm saying at this point. I'm just saying kill him, kill him, kill him. I don't care. So the Uni are attempting to break through the mystical barrier that has trapped them in one of the rooms. They bang on the barrier with their swords. They find a weak spot, but it won't be long before they're out. And Scott's dad, in the meantime, he's not doing well at all. He wants to talk to Scott, but Melissa says, no, not like this. Allison then calls Scott, and this is a very big scene because it's the first time that Allison and Scott have had an actual conversation in a very long time. If you think about it, Allison and Scott have not had a really big conversation since I believe the last time they had a really big conversation was the finale, was the mid-season finale when I think that was the last time they had a really big conversation. Yes, they've had brief interactions, but nothing like this. She calls up Scott. She tells him they're only after that dark spirit. He lets the Uni back in, tells everyone not to do anything. He tells them to let all the Uni perform their check, and the Uni peer into Scott and Kira's eyes. They're both marked, meaning that neither of them are the dark spirits, and it looks like Scott was right. The Uni then disappears. So the question is, who does the Uni want? Well, as Stiles gets out of his hospital bed, he walks into the hospital hallway, and Scott's dad is taken to the ER. The Uni appear behind Stiles. One of them prepares to do their check. Stiles punches his hand into the demon's chest. The thing dies. It does seem as if Stiles is a Nuggisoon, one who has dominated over other pieces of darkness. And once the other Uni witness Stiles and his ability to kill their pals, they sort of jump into Stiles. So Scott walks in, sees Stiles just standing there. He asks if he's okay, and Stiles says in a completely normal tone, yeah, totally fine. Clearly, though, he's not okay, because I really like that they're making Stiles like this evil villain. I really am enjoying that, because it's not really something I would have ever expected. I would have never expected Stiles to be the one to get all this really crazy shit happening to him. He's going through a lot of bad stuff this season, but he has a really great arc this season as well, so I really am enjoying that. So yeah, I really liked his plot. I thought it was really great, and that was just really, really great. So then we go to Allison. Now, Allison's plot had to do with her father, Mr. Argent. Now, we find out right away Mr. Argent's not dead. The show opens with a flashback. It's showing Mr. Argent. He tells Allison and Scott about the strange shadow beings and experience with them. He says they're after people who have a connection to the supernatural. That's why the werewolves and Lydia have been marked. He says they cut down everything in their path. He tells them a man, a strange creature who died by these demons' hands. He also tells them a man, Katashi, who survived that night's attack. It might be able to help everyone get some answers. these people belong to the Yakusha. Mr. Arjun reveals that he was in their company during the night of the demon attack because he was on his first gun deal. So, Mr. Arjun, Isaac, and Allison, they're trying to figure out how to chat with Katashi, and he's supposedly very paranoid, and the only way to meet with him was to bait him with a rare antique weapon, which Mr. Arjun put up for sale yesterday. And Allison, Scott, and Mr. Arjun, they arrive at Katashi's estate. He doesn't come to the gate willingly. He says they have to go plan B. So Mr. Arjun and Allison are planning a way to infiltrate Katashi's estate. They suit him in a tuxedo and say he has to buy them some time. He's incredibly nervous, anxious, and panicking. Allison kisses him to calm his nerves, which I really do like, because I really am enjoying, even though I don't like Allison's character, Allison and Isaac have a lot of chemistry, and I really would like to see them get together as well. Kira and Scott, Allison and Isaac, that's how I want this to end up. I think it will end up that way, but this is Teen Wolf. Things could turn for the worse in a second. Which for them it doesn't exactly, because when Isaac walked into the warehouse with Mr. Arjun's rare antique revolver to make the trade, a burly werewolf walks downstairs. It's not Katashi, and Isaac looks very worried at this point. So Isaac begins the trade. And the man negotiating the buy calls Isaac on his bluff. Meanwhile, Allison and Mr. Arjun find Katashi at the warehouse. Mr. Arjun shows Katashi the broken mask he took all those years ago. Katashi says that the shadow people are demons. They're called Uni, and they cannot be stopped. So Katashi says they're looking for one person who's not themselves, who's been possessed by a dark spirit. Turns out that the marks behind the ears of those who've been marked are in fact a symbol that suggests self, meaning that they're essentially individuals who are not of interest to those demons. So that is why they're marked. The people that are marked, it is a terrible thing that they're marked, and Katashi tells Mr. Arjun the different types of kitsune, something like that. He says that there's only one type of kitsune that is dark, possessed by an evil spirit. It's called Void, or Nagitsune. And Katashi tells him one thing: if there is a Nagitsune among you, let the Uni destroy it, even if it's your own daughter. So now Allison is in danger as well, and it's going to be interesting to see how this all connects. I really like that this one was split into two things. You had the thing going, you had Scott and Kira doing their thing, and then you gathering information, and then you also had Mr. Arjun, Isaac, and Allison actually trying to find out more about, actually trying to find Katashi, which I really am enjoying this plot a lot. I think it's really big, and a lot of things to think about here. One, why is Stiles being targeted? Is Stiles possessed right now? Do you think maybe he was possessed when he wrote that thing down the board? That's what I'm thinking. Do you think we can trust Stiles at this point? Honestly, I think it's going to come to one of those things where Stiles is actually going to be either of a split personality or possessed or something. Just they're giving Stiles a lot of really cool stuff to do. And I noticed in this episode that Stiles did not have any really funny dialogue, which I do like. I like this darker Stiles because it's really something we haven't seen before. And as much as we all love hilarious Stiles. I mean, he's one of the best parts of the show. One of the best parts of the show is always Stiles one-liners. But I really am enjoying this darker Stiles that we're getting because it's really showing us more of, of Stiles and more about his character and more that we get to learn about his character, which I also really like. I also like Scott and Kira. I like that they're getting a lot closer. I like that they almost kissed in this episode. Honestly, do you guys want Scott's father to live? I don't. I want him to die because I don't like his character. I think his character is annoying. He always comes at the wrong times, and I can never stand his character. And what's going to happen to everyone that was marked? And what do you think is going to happen to them? Also, where was Lydia? Why was Lydia not in this episode? I don't know. Lydia didn't really need to be in this episode. I guess that's probably why. But I would have wanted a little bit of Stiles and Lydia action, especially with all the romance going on in this episode. I would have wanted more Stiles, Lydia, because at this point, you have those three that everyone wants to get together, and none of them are together right now, so I'd really love to see all three of those couples together. And also, what do you think of this new, I really like this new villain that we have, the Kitsune, I think they're very, very strong. I really do like those characters. That's been my review. Hope you